Hello, and welcome to my July game reviews and collection update video. So, I'm still playing Alphadia Genesis. I am terrible. But I do have one game thing I wanted to share. I found out that PlayStation had secretly removed a bunch of games from PlayStation Network for the PlayStation 3 and PS Vita. Because I know for a fact some of the games I had, and another not so fun thing is the um, downloads that I had. I was trying to think of the word. I had downloads already on the systems, and if it was removed from the PlayStation Store, it don't work anymore. It doesn't matter that I've had the download on there. It does not work because it's not listed anymore. So that was extremely upsetting and disappointing. I mean, it's not like it's the worst thing, but knowing that I did have the games at some point and now don't is just. For the most part, those games were games I just had through PlayStation Plus, where I had been a member in the past. Um, so, not a huge loss, but it's still the fact remains that they just took it off their store and didn't tell anybody. I'm sure there's some people who actually bought those games and now don't have any access to them at all, which is stupid. Okay, so things that I got this month. I'm going to start with the cutest thing. I got myself a mouse that's Miffy. It's super adorable with its little white and pink theme. I like that there's a little bunny in there. It's a Bluetooth mouse, so it can work with my computer or whatever. Obviously, I'm using it for the computer, but it made me happy that I got it. I already shared a video of the Yuma Twins box I got this month. I've also shared videos for the PNP games orders because those were massive. Not really much to share with this. I just wanted to. I got these adorable, cute little like nail stickers. These ones are all kitties, and then this pack had just like all kinds of stuff. I literally, I literally got it before I went to make the video for July. So I was like, it's in July. I'm not getting anything else. And then I literally just got the nail stickers. I went ahead and put one on. It's a little bunny butt. And I don't know why, but I think that's absolutely adorable and cute and funny. All right. Other thing I got this month is the holiday countdown calendar of jigsaw puzzles of Pokemon. I've been wanting to get this. I've not actually opened it yet. The tape is still up at the top. But yeah, so there are 11 100-piece ornament shaped puzzles and one 300-piece puzzle. And then there's a thing included to save the puzzles if you want to. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to put it together, disassemble it, and put it together like randomly during December. Okay, now to the games that I didn't share when I did those huge hauls because these were not obtained that way. So I forget where I ordered this at. I think this was Gamefly? I'm not sure. Anyways, Wisman's World Retry for the PS5. So it lets you know that it's based off the 2009 classic. It's been enhanced with rearranged soundtrack options. There is Anima Fusion, which I'm not sure exactly what that is. Kind of shows you back here. But I'm wondering if it's kind of like the Persona fusions. I don't know. I'll find out. Anyways, that it's a RPG and it's interesting. There's two paths for every choice. It straight up tells you this. So it says four powerful elements to bring into battle. That's nothing unusual, but okay. Three magical homunculi at your side. Those must be the things that we could fuse. Not really sure. Two paths for every choice, and one wizard to save the world. So we're playing as a wizard, and that's why we have these creatures at our side. Um, so it tells you that the city was cut off from communication with the outside world. Those who have awakened forgot who they are, who their neighbors are, and they live without memories of the past. They know the dangers of the dungeon surrounding the city, monsters in the dungeon, and magic needed to counter said monsters. They've been trying to navigate the dungeon for years, but no avail. It's been 100 years and no exit's been found. We're a new wizard heading into the dungeon to defy the monsters. So obviously, our hope is that we're the one to clear the dungeon and find out just what is going on. So I'm guessing we're supposed to be this fella, and then those three ladies are our helpers that we use in battles. So I don't know. I just know it's RPG. It sounded kind of interesting. It looked really fun. Basically, I like dungeon exploration RPGs. It's always a thrill to me. Um, Snack and slash. Okay, so this time, Disgaea is a action RPG. It's not been an action RPG before, as far as I know. Pretty sure there's been the one time it was in a tome, or a visual novel, if you will, and then there's been the several strategy Disgaea games where you got your tactical RPG going on. Um. Anyway, this one came with a little art book that's like this big. It's inside the case, but I don't want to open it and accidentally drop stuff. And a digital soundtrack, which I'm going to redeem later. So I got this through Video Games Plus, or VGP. I order from them a lot. So I went and got this on Switch too. I know it's just a game key card, but I like having something physical at least. So I'm looking forward to this. I do like the Disgaea series. So now I got the new one, Mayhem. I also, at the same time when I pre-ordered that, ordered this because I didn't realize, but Square Enix made a game called Thief, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "It sounds familiar." I went to play my PS3 copy of it, and let's just say it had issues. I'm not sure if it was my disc or if it's just because PlayStation's a pain. I don't know. So I went ahead and got the 360 version because I'm like, you know what, it might work better. At the very least, I'll give it a shot because I wanted to play it, and I don't know. It would not work correctly on the PS3. It was acting stupid. It kept like glitching and stuff. I don't know if it like needed to update and just wouldn't do so, or if it was my disc. And if I was gonna buy it anyways, I bought it on the 360 because I'm mad at PlayStation. So yeah. As for Alphadia Genesis, that's the game I've been playing. If I ignore the fact that the level grinding is driving me mad, the game's actually pretty good. The storyline's interesting. I think, if I understand correctly, I'm about at the halfway point in the game. And I have explored basically half of everything in the game. And I only got the second half to go. So that's promising. I also have figured out like some of the leveling stuff with like the magic and stuff. And once I get done leveling that, they'll be stronger, if that makes any sense, despite whatever level they're at. So I've been focusing on leveling everything basically and trying my best to accomplish things. And I basically have my favorite 4 that I'm using, and I'm hoping I don't have to use the other 2 because I have not magic leveled them and I don't really want to. Because it takes forever to level anything up in the game, whether it's the magic or the regular leveling. It's just slow. I do have abilities and accessories to help speed the process along, but it still takes forever and it's still infuriating and frustrating and boring. But I am working on it and I'm trying so hard to make progress because I want to see what happens in this game. I love the story progress stuff. I love the concept of the game. I like the way it plays. I like the storyline. I like the characters. There's a character that you love to not like, basically. And then there's characters that have you going, okay, what's going on with you? Is they're mysterious and they haven't really shared anything. And then there's other characters where you're like, I like this character and I want the best for them. Let me see it. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. And I've been having fun with it. I just am stuck in the grind for days. I will eventually get there. I mean, I'm at level 52, so I'm getting there, and the enemies they're not insta-killing me anymore. So, I'm at the point where I'm going to have to level up before I go into, the next area, but I'm where I should be level-wise, finally, for once. It's you're at the halfway of the game, and you're at the halfway of your levels. Good job! And I'm like, I hate this. So, yeah. And I know that the game basically kind of implies that you're supposed to, max your levels and your magic and stuff. Because there is, an ending, and then there's a post-game for the real ending. I know that much. But that's, all I know about it, and it's just that's dumb. But then I think about Bravely Default and how it had me max out my levels, and that wasn't enough. I still had to do ridiculously specific tactics. So at least this game isn't doing that to me. It's oh no, you don't have to have specific tactics. Just max your stuff out and you'll be fine. And I'm okay, I can do that. I can just level up stuff until I'm strong enough to beat up the enemy and move on. So it's just one of those okay, well there's this and there's that. Comparatively, I shouldn't have to say comparatively, but yeah, comparatively, at least all I'm doing is level grinding. It's not too terrible. Plus, you can always level grind right next to a heal point and speed things up even more by using your strongest magics that kill all the enemies. It's I'm gonna use this move. Everybody's dead. Alright, heal. Use this move. Everybody's dead. Okay, heal. And just do that with every battle. It makes it go so much faster. Plus, you gotta remember, before you do that move, though, to have somebody use their ability to increase the experience. There's a character that has that. And you use the item, if you have any still, to increase experience from the battle. And then, just, whoop. And that's just how every battle plays out. It's hey, item, ability, murder. Item, ability, enemy's dead. Item, ability, the wiped again. And I just constantly do that back and forth. Just heal, item ability, kill all the enemies. Heal, item ability, kill all the enemies. Heal. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's not the worst thing, but it is kind of dumb. Honestly, that you have to do it. But once it's done and you're able to progress, it's fun again. It's like, yeah, alright, I can just proceed. Is once you're strong enough, you can just kind of fly through because, like, they'll have, like, 2 or 3 areas in a row with the same exact enemies. So once you're strong enough for one, you can do the next few. And it's just like, okay. Every now and then, the game also makes you backtrack places. They're like, oh, you did this? Cool. Now go all the way back to that town way back at the beginning of the game and talk to that guy. Okay. I guess. And then, of course, there's also the side quests that you can seek out that make you just run all over the place. They don't always make sense. Sometimes to backtrack. Sometimes they just have you beat up the same enemies you've been defeating so many times, or have you find some rare item off of one of the enemies you've been beating up. And sometimes you have way more of that item than they ask for, and then you're like, it's still in my inventory, and I can't sell it. Why is it still in my inventory? What am I supposed to do with this? Like, seriously, there are items in my inventory that I can't get rid of. Nobody wants them, and you can't sell them, and you can't drop them. They're just there. And it's like, well, that's annoying. But, it's not the worst thing. It's just kind of funny. It's like, okay, what? And enemies sometimes will still keep dropping these items. I'm like, why? Nobody wants it. Why are you giving this to me? I really don't know what the reason is. I think it's like a programming thing. Maybe somebody later on will ask for it. I doubt it, though. I really doubt it. I think it's just a programming error. I think it's just they had to put it in there for that side quest, but they didn't have it, like, quest term limited, I guess is a way to put it. So, like, for example, in other RPGs of this nature, you won't find the item until you get the quest. Like, somebody will be like, I want 5 feathers off of the whatever bird. And it's like, I've killed like 100 of them. I don't have any of those feathers, but fine, okay. And in those other games, like Tales of will have you do this. I think some of the Yeast games do it, but it won't be until you take the quest. You accept the quest that you need these stupid feathers, and you go beat up the birds you've been beating up, and suddenly they drop them. They don't drop any more than you need either. They only drop you those 5, and then you return and do whatever it was. And I'm like, I feel like that was the goal with Alphadia Genesis with the item drops on some of the enemies, but they didn't code it the same way. Either they didn't know how, because I mean, it appears that it was made by like a smaller group, as far as I can tell with the game. I believe these games also like have mobile ports, so that might have something to do with it. But yeah, so out comes some slack. Maybe they didn't know how to code that. Just like I'm sure they didn't intentionally make level grinding so terrible that you're like, I want to see what happens in this game, but if there was a way to bypass this, I would. I don't think they did that on purpose. At least I would hope not. I'm pretty sure it was unintentional that they made leveling take forever and made enemies just arbitrarily go from being way too easy to way too hard when you walk 3 steps. You crossed the bridge, congratulations, this enemy is going to kill you now. What? Like, every time I go to cross a bridge, I'm like, save. Alright, what enemies are across the bridge? Learn your lesson the first time, and never again, never again do you trust the enemies. It's the same with, like, going into dungeons. Like, nope, we're gonna save. enter the dungeon, and the enemies are the same strength or harder? About the same? Alright, we're good. If they're harder, it's like, nope, back outside, folks. Turn it around. Like, one of the most obvious areas that happens is kind of early on. It's after you leave the first sewer area and go up the mountain to a specific area you need to enter that's hidden in the mountains. But the enemies outside are okay, actually. But after you visit the town and you go back, you enter inside the mountain, and there's a different set of enemies inside. And those enemies are stronger than the ones outside. And I'm like, cool. Back outside, folks. Like, I barely got my characters back outside. And took them immediately back to town so that they could heal. And I was like, well, I have learned my lesson. And that lesson is that these enemies are mean to me and cannot be trusted. Because at first, my first shock had just been the mountain itself. You leave that town and you cross this little bridge, and just suddenly, like, the enemies on this mountain are like twice the strength of the enemies that were over by the town. And I'm like, what happened? Why? And that's also when I learned that that sewer becomes inaccessible to go back through temporarily if you stay at the town. And I'm like, oh, cool. I get to level up on this little small plot of land because I didn't know that. And moving forward, I started making extra saves. Like, save. Check this out. Okay, I need to level up. Can I go back? They haven't done that since then, thankfully. That was like the only time that it was like, oh, you can't go back and level up. Too bad. You made your decision. And I was like, I did not, but okay. And that was difficult, but I did it. And I made sure to not let that be difficult again. So I like just save frequently. That's what my advice is. Just make extra saves. Just saving all the time. You're doing good, save. You're still doing good, save. You're not sure if the next area is gonna be hard, save. You think the next area is not gonna be hard, save anyways. I also save before monster boss battle things too, because you never know when it's just gonna be arbitrarily difficult for no reason. Especially the battle arena, which I think is optional, honestly. But I saved beforehand, and like one of the random things that I've got through 3 of the classes or whatever. I did all the levels under 3 different difficulty stages, if you will. I forget I think they had like king, queen, stuff like that. Anyways, I did 3 of them. The next one I can't do yet. I need to be like level 80, I think is what it said. I was like, what? The last one was level 50. What? What happened there? Okay. So, that's something I'll have to come back to later. Because I decided to try to do all the optional stuff too. I'm like, you know what? I already pretty much have to level up to maximum anyways. Why not do all the optional stuff? So that's what I've been doing. I also, while I'm at it, since I'm done sharing what I got and about what game I've been playing, I wanted to update. I finally finished organizing and cleaning my room, which is so wonderful. You can see there's floor. It looks nice. I am so happy. So, my goal is to finish Alphadia Genesis as fast as I can. And as soon as I finish that game, I'm going to share on Twitter that I finished said game. And then the next day, I will start resuming daily streams is my goal. And they'll always be at night, starting around 9:30. It'll either be a little bit before or a little bit after 9:30, and then they'll last either till 11 or 11:30. Occasionally midnight, just because I don't have as much to do that day or I'm not as tired. Um, so yeah, I want to do more streams than that, but that's what I'm going to start with. That's what's going to resume up as soon as I finish. If anything changes as far as streaming time goes, I will share that on the tweet. And I'll try to remember to tweet before I stream, but I can't always promise that I'll remember. Now, I'm not sure what game it'll be either. I haven't decided. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to finish off Age of Genesis first, and then I'll think about it. I mean, it's possible that it could be Threads of Fate. I haven't checked to see if that download works yet. If that download works, it might be Threads of Fate. Otherwise, it might be Bakaru on Switch, which I've not played it before, so I have no clue. I don't know. It just looks fun. Alright, so yeah, until next time, which hopefully shouldn't be too long. Hopefully within a week. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.